Hi everyone, here today we're going to go through the process involved in marking out the newel posts for a straight flight of stairs. In this example it's 4 rises high. Here for this example we'll be using a typical thickness of 1 inch for the tread. So to start with, we're going to start with the lower newel post. And usually the first line I would mark on this is the finished floor line. So usually I come up about 50 millimeters and draw a line which is your finished floor level line, and that's animated here now in red. And after that then I would measure up the rise distance from that. So whatever rise for the particular step for your stairs that you're making, that's what you're going to measure up next from that first black broken line you've drawn there. And again, we'll draw that with our square across this inner face of this newel post, and there it is there, animated in white. And then the next step then is I just draw a center line up through the from the first line to the second line that we've already drawn. And this red line that's shown here now represents the front face of the first riser on your stairs. And after that, the next thing you'll have to do is you get a thread or an offcut of the thread that's already machined out and housed out to take the riser as shown there, and you'll mark the nosing of that thread as animated here now. And after you've done that, and typically that sticks out about 1 inch, that nosing, by the way, that'd be about typical. But by the way, the minimum it has to be is it can be no less than 16 mil. Here the area shown in red with X's, all of that has to be housed out 1/2 inch deep, no deeper, because you'll only weaken the newel post if you go deeper. There's no point going any deeper. Here we use an auger bit, shown the white circle there. And to get the center for the auger bit, it's a good idea to offset the distance from the top surface of the thread, which is going to be animated here now. So in our case, our thread is 1 inch, so we're offsetting that line down 1/2 inch, and we're offsetting in from the front of the nose and also 1/2 inch. And the center of that cross that you're looking at there, that Celtic cross almost you're looking at, use a bradall on that. So later on then, when we're going using our inch auger bit, there's less likely for the auger bit to wander off center. And again, we're only going 1/2 inch deep now with that hole when we drill it. So next we will be concentrating on the upper newel post, which is about to come into view here now. So usually I clamp the two together and just slide them up each other. But the upper newel post, I slide it a bit past the first one because you need to go past the finished floor level line you've drawn on the first one by about 5 inches for most of the stairs you'll be dealing with. So about 120 mil past it, and draw in that line again, that broken black line as shown there. That's your second last thread, and measure up the rise distance. And you don't have to measure because it's already marked there from the first newel post, so we just transferred it across. So this top white line now represents the top finished floor level, and that center line just drawn there now represents the front face of your very last riser up at the top of the stairs. And again, just follow the process then from there on as you did with the lower newel post. And again, everything shown in red here is housed in 1/2 inch deep. And then after that then you're going to house in the thread that's just after being animated there for the second thread from the top. And by the way, there is no wedge on any of the newel posts, so it's only the thread you're housing in. So you don't have to worry about or wonder about should you put in a housing for a wedge. And next thing, to find the position of our mortise on that newel post, I would suggest that you get the string when it's tenoned, and just slide the tenons past the newel post on the far side, and then slide the string down until both housings on the string and the newel post line up to each other. Then, as circled in yellow here, you will now have the start and finish of your mortise on that newel post for that stairs. And here's an isometric view just to give you a nice visual on it. And just a tip here, when you're marking out the newel posts, now that you have the top of the mortise shown in green there, it's also the top of the string, and you need to measure up before you go too far into this to make sure that your handrail is arriving where you want it to arrive at, especially if the newel post is turned. There's only a small area where you can arrive at. Here we're at the upper newel post. Again, same process. Slide the tenons past the far side of the newel post and slide it down until both housings line up. And when they line up again, you'll have now got the start and finish of your mortise now on that face, the face that the string will be touching for your mortise. And again with this top newel post, it's no harm to before you do anything, before you go too far into the process, check from the last thread up along the newel post to see where the handrail is landing for the where the handrail is landing for the handrail for the landing. So again, if the newel post is turned, you might have to reposition your marking or whatever to suit. And that's stated here on that fly in there. So that's important. So here's a view of it housed out, isometric view. So here I'm just from this vertical section perspective, just showing the return housing that some people forget to do. So you do have to return that housing around the corner. So later on when you notch the thread on the stairs, the thread is fully enclosed inside an housing. So even if you didn't cut it that accurately, or if there was a bit of shrinkage on the thread later on, no gap will be visible because it'll be hidden inside the housing. And it's the same here as animated at the lower newel post. Again, it's returned around the corner a half-inch deep, that housing there. So just animated there, circled in yellow. So before you fit the newel to the newel string, you first need to drill two plug holes, as you would if you're fitting a door frame, usually half-inch diameter. They have to be a clean hole, so usually an auger bit that'll make a clean hole. And don't go too deep. And then drill a clearance hole for the screw. And I just want to stress the two screws there. When you have that screw there, you don't want that screw treading on the newel post. You want the screw to be able to move in and out freely of that hole for the screw there. Because you want it to only tread on the string later on. If it's trying to tread on the newel post and the string at the same time, then you'll find that the newel post won't pull into the string, or certainly it'll be very difficult to get it to pull in. So because it's trying to tread on both the newel post and the string at the same time, which is what you don't want. So there's a tip for you. So there after you've pre-sanded everything, then you'll be gluing it and then screwing it together. And of course, make sure you clean off all excess glue, and you'll usually need a wide chisel to make sure there's no excess glue left around, because the excess glue will act as a sealer on the timber. So now it's a similar process when screwing the upper newel post to the string. Again, I'm just emphasizing here that you will have to notch the top of the top newel post before you screw it. At any rate, so it's probably better to do that at an earlier stage, so you have less material to house out. And here I'm just stressing here again how important it is to make sure that there are no glue stains left on the timber. Otherwise, you'll see blotchy stains left, and the painter won't thank you for it because it means a lot of extra sanding. Okay, hopes that's of use.